History is full of leaders who changed the world, some for better, others for worse. But a few stand out for their sheer ruthlessness, leaving behind trails of destruction, fear, and chaos. These rulers didn't just lead, they dominated, crushed, and terrified. Their names still send shivers down spines. Who were the most dangerous rulers in history? Let's dive into the top 5, whose actions shook the world and left scars that still linger. 5. Vlad the Impaler. Long before modern tyrants, Vlad III, known as Vlad the Impaler, struck fear into the hearts of his enemies. Ruling Wallachia, modern-day Romania, in the mid-1400s, Vlad earned his nickname through his favorite punishment, impalement. This gruesome method involved driving a stake through victims, leaving them to die in agony. Vlad's reign was a response to constant threats from the Ottoman Empire and internal rivals. To keep control, he ruled through terror. Stories tell of him impaling thousands, sometimes entire towns, to send a message. One chilling tale describes him dining among a forest of impaled bodies, unfazed by the horror. Estimates suggest he killed 40,000 to 100,000 people, a massive number for his small region. His cruelty wasn't random. Vlad used fear as a weapon, deterring invaders and enforcing loyalty. His legend inspired Bram Stoker's Dracula, cementing his image as a bloodthirsty monster. Yet some in Romania still see him as a hero who protected his land. Vlad's danger lay in his unrelenting brutality. In a time of constant war, he turned fear into an art form, leaving a legacy as chilling as it was effective. 4. Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong, China's leader from 1949 to 1976, dreamed of a new China, free from poverty and foreign control. But his vision came with a price so steep it's still felt today. His policies led to millions of deaths, making him one of history's deadliest rulers. Mao's Great Leap Forward, 1958 and 1962, was meant to modernize China's economy. Instead, it was a disaster. Forcing farmers into communes and pushing unrealistic production goals led to the Great Chinese Famine. Crops failed and food vanished. Between 15 and 45 million people starved or died from related causes. Villages became ghost towns, and families were torn apart. Then came the Cultural Revolution, 1966, 1976, where Mao unleashed chaos to purify China. Students called Red Guards attacked teachers, intellectuals, and anyone deemed counter-revolutionary. Millions were persecuted, imprisoned, or killed. China's cultural heritage, temples, books, art, was destroyed in the frenzy. Mao's danger came from his unshakable belief in his own ideas, no matter the cost. His cult-like following meant no one could challenge him, even as millions suffered. 3. Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin, the Soviet Union's leader from the 1920s to 1953, was a man of steel, both in name and nature. His rule transformed Russia into a superpower, but at a cost so horrific it's hard to fathom. Stalin's paranoia and hunger for control turned his own people into victims. Stalin's Great Purge in the 1930s saw millions arrested, tortured, or executed. He targeted anyone he suspected of disloyalty: soldiers, politicians, even ordinary citizens. No one was safe. The secret police became his weapon, and fear ruled the land. Historians estimate 600,000 to 1.5 million died in the purges alone. Then came the famines. Stalin's forced collectivization of farms led to the Holodomor in Ukraine, where millions starved to death between 1932 and 1933. Some say it was deliberate, a way to crush resistance. Across his rule, tens of millions died from starvation, executions, or brutal labor camps called gulags. Stalin's danger wasn't just in his cruelty, but in his ability to control every aspect of life. He rewrote history, erased enemies from photos, and built a cult of personality that made him untouchable, until his death in 1953. 2. Adolf Hitler. Fast forward to the 20th century, and no name stirs more dread than Adolf Hitler. As the leader of Nazi Germany from 1933 to 1945, Hitler's ambition plunged the world into its deadliest war. His ideology of hate and his quest for a perfect world led to unimaginable suffering. Hitler's rise began with fiery speeches and promises to rebuild Germany after World War I. But his vision was twisted. He scapegoated Jews, Romani people, and others, blaming them for Germany's problems. This led to the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews and millions of others were systematically murdered in concentration camps. Gas chambers, mass shootings, and starvation became tools of his genocidal machine. World War II, sparked by Hitler's invasions, killed over 70 million people, soldiers and civilians alike. Cities were reduced to rubble, and his obsession with power dragged humanity into darkness. Even as defeat loomed, he refused to surrender, ordering his forces to fight to the last man. His final act, taking his own life in 1945 as his empire crumbled. Hitler's danger lay in his ability to manipulate millions into following his hateful vision. His charisma, combined with his ruthless policies, made him a force of destruction unlike any other. 1. Genghis Khan. Imagine a warrior so fierce that his name alone made empires tremble. Genghis Khan, born Temujin in the late 12th century, was that man. Rising from a harsh life on the Mongolian steppes, he united warring tribes and forged the largest land empire in history. But his success came at a horrifying cost. Genghis Khan's conquests stretched from Asia to Europe, covering millions of square miles. His armies were unstoppable, sweeping through cities like a wildfire. He didn't just defeat enemies, he obliterated them. Entire towns were burned to the ground, and populations were slaughtered if they resisted. Historians estimate his campaigns killed up to 40 million people, roughly 10% of the world's population at the time. In one chilling episode, after conquering the Khwarezmian Empire, he ordered the execution of every man, woman, and child in some cities to send a message: surrender or be erased. His tactics were brutal but brilliant. He used psychological warfare, spreading terror to weaken enemies before battles even began. His horsemen were lightning fast, striking with precision and vanishing before anyone could fight back. Yet Genghis wasn't just a destroyer. He built trade routes and spread technologies across his empire. But his legacy is stained with blood, making him one of history's most dangerous rulers. Why so dangerous? His unmatched military genius and willingness to wipe out entire civilizations left a mark of fear that echoes through time. In conclusion, the stories of these rulers aren't just history lessons. They're warnings. Power can inspire, but it can also corrupt. These men showed how far human ambition can go when it's fueled by ruthlessness. Today, we look back and shudder, but we also learn. Their actions teach us to question leaders, challenge cruelty, and value peace. Who's the most dangerous? That's for you to decide. Genghis Khan's vast empire, Hitler's global war, Stalin's iron grip, Mao's deadly reforms, or Vlad's terrifying cruelty, each left a unique mark. What's certain is that their names will live on, not in glory, but as reminders of what happens when power turns deadly. Glad you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe. Your support means a lot. Thank you.